Hi guys, it's Mary Lisa here. If you visited the Spirit Collective USA website or you've been watching my videos for a little while, you know that I talk and work a lot with Reiki energy. But what exactly is Reiki? In this video, I'm going to break down what it is, where it comes from, how it works, and how it can help you. So Reiki is pronounced just like that, Reiki. The first word Rei means spiritual wisdom, and the last word Ki means life force. Ki, the last part of Reiki, is just like Qi in Chinese. All of these ancient wisdoms are about life force energy. That's what acupuncture is. When they put in the needles into the different parts of the meridians, it's supposed to stimulate the life force to move and flow through. That's what Qigong is too. It's about moving life force. This life force energy, as I've spoken about before, is measurable. It's one of the first things I do with clients is I measure their life force, or prana, or ki, or chi. It has all different names, but it's the same thing. Really low life force is comparable to disease, depression, shame, that kind of stuff. And you can measure the frequency of other things as well. That's what we talk about when we talk about essential oils. They have a really high frequency, a really high life force. Using things in your own healing that have high life force increases your own life force, your own frequency, your own ki or chi. When I first start working with a client, I kind of explain to them that Reiki, it's not my own energy that I'm transferring to people. It is the stimulation of your own energy, your own healing through your parasympathetic nervous system, which is stimulated through the energy work. It also can be viewed in a spiritual sense as the transfer of holy or divine energy through the conduit to you, and then your intuitive body and self use that energy to facilitate the healing or the goal you're after. But Reiki has turned into so much more for me. Reiki can awaken your spiritual gifts as well. And when I say spiritual gifts, it's more about a connection or understanding of your own power. It's all about energy, frequency, and intention. Intention is a big thing. So when I first started learning Reiki, I was just putting my hands on people. I didn't quite understand what was going on, but the more I learn and understand about Reiki, the more intense and beneficial the flow and healing becomes. I explain myself as a healer, as an emotional healer, a spiritual healer, but I cannot affect change on another individual. I can only pass along energy or frequency or healing. It's that other person who has to be willing to accept and integrate that energy. Reiki is not a religion. It's not a superpower. It's a way of understanding the way the world and the universe works.
So the basics of all energy work is understanding that every person, everything, every animal is connected by frequency, vibration, or energy. If you measure the fields around the human heart, it actually reaches out infinitely past the human body. Our only limitation in measuring it is the machines that we're using to measure it. Understanding that your energy can be felt, touched, affected by every single thing in this universe is the basics of energy work. Now, this is not mystical, crazy stuff I'm talking about. If you look into the universe and you look through an optical telescope, mimicking our eye, you'll see that you'll see these little dots of stars, right? But if you look with an energy telescope, it looks like neurons. It's like a web. Every star is connected to each other star through vibrations and frequency. The same is true for humans and our tiny earth. So don't get caught up in thinking this is all mystical talk. It's the new science.
It's kind of like being an alchemist. It's understanding the energy around you, learning to hone and transfer it, kind of like being super conscious. When I do Reiki for people, I'm using a lot of focus. Lily loves Reiki. If I just lay my hands on someone, I know that the Reiki energy is flowing because it's divine and beyond. But if I can also use my own superconscious, my meditative powers to intend certain outcomes, it becomes that much stronger. That's why meditation is important. As in my previous video about whether or not you can become a healer, the answer is yes. You can start your own energy work by your own hand, by your own learning. It takes a lot of learning and a lot of practice though. That's why it's so beneficial to work with a teacher or a mentor or something like that. The way it happened for me is I was attuned, which just basically means my healer took the time, intention, energy, and meditation to clear my energetic being to receive the Reiki energy and understand it more clearly. This process is so different for everyone. I've heard that some people had this big experience, and for me, it just wasn't like that. I think too much, probably, and so it took a long time of doing it daily on myself, on my animals, on whoever would let me get permission first. And then I started to feel and understand and sense the energy flow within myself and others. Since then, it's been 6 or 7 years of just constant development. When I do Reiki for someone, I talk about things like negative entities, blocked chakras, negative emotional imprints, energetic block and implants, stuff like that. When I'm doing more of an emotional coaching session with someone or someone who's not into those spiritual words, I switch over to things like trauma, chemical imprints, emotional freedom, core beliefs, subconscious. So they all kind of mean the same thing and they all kind of heal the same way. We're energetic beings. We go through a lot of experiences, some of them bad, some of them good. Without proper coping skills, it gets stuck in our body and we become ill and unhappy. So you can explain that in spiritual terms or you can explain that in cognitive terms, scientific terms. It's a marriage. It's all the same thing. So when I work with a client, I'm not only doing Reiki, but I'm doing the emotional coaching to kind of integrate the science and the spirit of it, because that's essentially what we are. We're thinking, feeling beings. We need to understand the science behind things as well as the spirituality of things. When I do Reiki on someone, it's activating their parasympathetic nervous system. When you activate that nervous system, you're allowing the body to come out of like a hyper stress mode and therefore going into repair. We're moving the energy and the flow and allowing you to connect better to source. And when you're connected better to your own personal power, your own personal source, that's when things start to flow. The happiness, the love interest, the better job, the more money. So that's just a little bit about Reiki. It's all about frequency. We have to raise the frequency up so that you stop attracting lower frequency things. It can be done on anyone, anywhere, at any time. I do it for my animals, for my family, for myself. You can do it on yourself. You can use your hands. They have a magnetic frequency and you can intend where you want the healings. Just a very safe frequency and energy flow. That's a little intro to Reiki and energy healing. If you're looking to talk about getting your own healing done, you can go onto my website or you can learn more about Reiki and some of the studies done on it in the blog post. So thanks for watching, guys.